Hi, welcome back. So today let's start with Express.js framework. So yesterday we discussed like creating a server using HTTP, right, Amar? So today what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss how we can create server with Express.js. See, every module has their own features, right? HTTP is the module, okay? But Express.js is a framework. There is a difference between framework and one library or module. Framework, what is there? No, like how I can tell? Like, see, in home, you have one, let's suppose, mixer grinder, right? That machine will be there, mixer grinder. That mixer grinder will only do one thing. Either it can grind or either it can do some mixing work, right? It can like grind the masalas or you can create some juice and all, right? That is only the work of mixer. But if I tells you like entire like home is basically your framework, I can tell. Why I am telling home is framework? Because in home so many places are there and so many things are kept. Okay, so framework is kind of like one architecture, one full house type. So there are so many features you will get, so many library you will get. Library in the sense means so many module you will get. Like what I'm telling, like mixer grinder is also there in your home, fridge is also there in your home, washing machine is also there in your home. So everything will be included in framework. Okay, so framework is basically used for entire things to do, but library is only for a specific work to do. Got it? The difference between framework and library? So framework has more feature than library. Understood, Amar? See, what I'm telling, framework is one home and library is nothing but in home, one mixer grinder is one library. Because it is held for only using the mixer grinder. Freeze is one library because freeze is only used for doing freezing things, right? Your washing machine is one library because washing machine is only used for cleaning the dress. So these small things are library. Now combining all this library and keeping in one place, that is called framework. Understood? So framework is like bulk of things, like group of multiple things combined together. Means it will give you multiple features to you. It won't restrict only for specific features. But library, functions, like see, if you are creating one function, that function will only have only one thing to do, right? Either it will add the thing, either it will subtract the thing. But if I'll talk about framework, no, framework is like a multiple functions are available in that. Okay, that is called framework. Framework is nothing but it's like a complete architecture. Got it now? What is framework? Okay, so that is framework. So that's why I'm telling. So we are going to create server using Express.js. Okay, so this is one framework. Express.js is a framework. We can also get this framework, the packages in npm.js only, but this is external one. Some other developer has developed. This is not coming from like Node.js installation. Once we install Node.js, we can get this HTTP, right? We can get this HTTP module without installing, we can use it. But without installing Express.js, you can't use Express.js. Okay. So what I mean to tell, I'll just go here. So see, here what happens, like yesterday I did, right? HTTP. If I'm doing HTTP, let's suppose I'll just do some control Z. I don't know whether it won't come now. Okay. But it's still like, let's again, I'll create small one. I'll create. Okay. HTTP. So see, you are using this HTTP, but HTTP you have not installed, no any other file this HTTP belongs to, right? So directly you are using HTTP. So HTTP dot listen, right? The port was there, right? The port was there 3000. And that's it. Let's suppose that much only. Okay, that's it. So server will only just stop. It won't print any message because I'm not printing any message. Okay, what is that? Oh, sorry. We have to create the server. Not this. Let server equal to http dot create server. Okay, and then this server dot listen will happen. Okay, this server dot listen will happen. See, so it's listening. I'm not printing any message here. That's why it's not printing, but it's got stuck here. See, so this HTTP directly we can use. No need to install anything. But when you are trying to use express chairs, because express chairs is not a part of, why you are able to access this HTTP means this HTTP is already available when you installed your when you install Node.js in your system. No, automatically this HTTP also will get installed, because these are all the default package. That is called a default package, because no need to install. But if you want to use express chairs framework, that is developed by some other developer. So for that you have to go here npm js home, and you have to search express js. Okay, so you can not js, I think express, it's the name is express. So I think now we might get exact match. Okay, we got the match, and this is the one. So you have to install. If let's suppose I didn't install this and I'm trying to use, so where is the use? So this is the use. So same thing this is also doing. This is also doing same thing. Instead of this, I'm just writing this. So what is happening? Here express I'm calling, here some reference I'm creating, and get method you forget now, and then app.listen I'm doing 3000. So this is also server.listen 3000, this is also app.listen 3000. Okay, now just I'll comment this HTTP so that you won't get confused. Okay, now like this only you use HTTP, right? See, like this only use HTTP, but like, same way I'm using express. But if I'll print, if I'll execute this, no, what it will say, the error message, properly you have to see error message. What it's saying, cannot find module express, because it's telling the express you are trying to use, but that is not there in your system. That is not there in your package or in your project. So you have to install this to use it. But to use HTTP, you no need to install anything. Okay, so that is the reason we have to install. So we have to install how? We have to install, the command is there, npm i express. Okay, so npm i express. So once you install, you will see the package.json will be having one dependency that is called express. Okay, now if I'll start, it will run. See, oh, I'm just starting now. See, now it will start, then it is running. See, the app.listen 3000 is running. Got it? So this is called as framework. So Express is a framework, or it's an external package outside of the Node.js default package. Okay. So this is we are going to study, and this is only the package or framework we are going to use in entire application. Okay. Entire our application is built on this Express. Okay. So we'll study about details on Express. Okay, now that is one thing. But before going to Express, what Express gives us, what we are going to develop, like yesterday as I discussed, like there is one hotel, right? So there is a waiter, right? And hotel has so many dishes prepared, right? So similar to that we are going to discuss. So in this Express.js framework, first we'll talk about what is API, then introduction of Express, then server setup using Express. We'll try to check. Okay, so let's today understand what is API, application programming interface. So application programming interface. So what is happening, like see, already you know server and client has to talk to each other, right? And same way server and database has to talk to each other, right? But the talk between server and the client, the person who exists in between, means the customer in your hotel and the chef in your hotel will be connected via waiter, because waiter will take the order from customer, and waiter will go and tell to the chef like, okay, this is the order you have to prepare, or is it available, this order already you have prepared. So there is one bridge between this chef who is preparing food and the customer. So that person is waiter, and that is only the work of this API. API, what it does, it will allow us to interact or to talk between client and the server. This API will be sitting in between client and the server. Okay, in between client and server. So anyone will ask you what is API, then you have to tell just still like it's an application programming interface. It helps to get enable communication between two system. Okay, fine. So see, so what I have written, it's a application programming interface set of rules or protocol that allow different software application to communicate with each other. Means see, this is server, that is kitchen or chef which is preparing food, and this is customer or application like your mobile app or your website. Okay, so any either mobile application, Android application, or your website or your admin portal, so anything like which you are seeing, viewing, so that between this to that it will be a bridge. Okay, so what this does, it will help client to send request to the server, and it will help server to send back response to the client. So who will do this? This API will do this. Understood? Who is API? What is API exactly? It's a waiter. Got it? What is API in normal meaningful? Amar? Okay, understood. Now see, this waiter can do so many things. See, waiter can do, he can, when customer will send, okay, give me the food. Okay, then waiter got the get request, because he got the get request. Okay, someone is asking the food. So that time he can do get request to the server. Okay, let's suppose customer will tell, okay, take this money and give it to server, something kitchen or some this one. Then that time what will happen, it will work as a posting is nothing but giving something to the server. Okay, that is post API, already we know. So waiter can either serve the customer, or it can take the money and go give back to the server. Okay, that is one thing. Two things. Another thing, like let's suppose customer, in between customer will tell, okay, I have ordered this one, but I wanted to add some more items, or I wanted to cancel my order. So that is kind of updating, right? We are I wanted to cancel this. Let's suppose he has ordered like 2 3 items, but he's telling, no, I don't want this item. I want, in place of this, I want to other item. So that is kind of updating. So update operation also API will do. Understood? Update operation also API will do. So first thing I told, like it can get the request from customer for order, that is get API. Second thing is customer will send money to server, that he will give to the server, that is post API, let's suppose. Third is like, let's suppose customer is telling like, okay, I want to change in this order some items. Okay, so update kind of thing. So that update also API will do. Or let's suppose customer tells like, no, I am very I got some urgent call, so I need to take it, so I can't have your food, so cancel my order. So canceling the order is nothing but deleting the information from the server. Okay, so once he cancel, then what happens? API will go to safe and he will tell, okay, stop, don't prepare that. Means delete that. Whatever you have prepared, also you throw that or delete that. Understood? So that is 4 operation this API will do. Now, in this entire project which you are going to do, no, entire project depends on only 4 things. Either you will get, or you will post, or you will update, or you will delete. So now you have to now see. Let's suppose now in one hotel, they will tell, we will get the order, we will take the order, we will change the order, but we won't cancel the order. Means your order will never be cancelled. That means that server, whatever you have written in that server, the API which you have created only get API, you have created only update API, you have created only post API, but you have not created delete API. That is the reason server is telling, no, we can't cancel the order, we can't delete the order. Once you have placed the order, means it will be served. Understood what is the API basically? So these all term why I am talking, no, because it's very important. Once you will go and do the code, you will understand what exactly I need to do if someone will tell. Understood, Amar? You are getting to know what I am talking? Okay. So this is the thing, like API has to do 4 things. That is create, means getting the data, posting the data, read, that is getting the getting something from the server, create, read, update. Update means some order changes also it will go and post to the server, and then delete means canceling the server. So as a your hotel, now see Amar, you are going to create a hotel. So what feature you want to keep? You want to keep all the features which customer will later do ask that, or you want to keep only one feature, like only get the order, or only serve the order, or only get the money. So those all feature you have to keep on increasing in your server. Understood? You have to keep on increasing in your server. So tomorrow if I'll tell you, okay, create a server and I want there 4 operation to be done, or I want there 3 operation to be done. Like 3 operation is, I'll tell you, okay, if any customer will come, if any client will come, or any request will come for getting something from the server, then you have to write that API for that. Like anyone ask for get, then you have to give something. Okay, that you have to accept. If you'll accept means what? You are creating that API. Then only that is acceptable. Now another is, let's suppose I am telling like, okay, get is fine. Now I'm telling like, okay, post. Like I will tell you, okay, Amar, you take the money, like create an API to get the money from the customer and store in the server, or get the detail from the customer, their details and all, name, phone number and all, and dump to the server. So that API you create. So you'll create that API. I'll tell you, okay, Amar, I wanted to delete that. Whatever you have detailed, you have placed, no, that delete API you write. So you will write the delete API, means all those API which you will write, that is placed in the server. And that is like a reaction of the server based on the request from the client. Now tomorrow client can give you delete request. Tomorrow client can give you update request. Tomorrow client can give you get request or store request. So all those requests client will give. But if you are not written the code in the server, how server will handle that? Because if client is asking you, okay, cancel the order, but you are not written the code only for canceling, then what you will tell? No, it's not allowed. Cancellation is not allowed, you will tell directly, because in server you have not written, right? So that is the work of API here. Understood what is API? What is waiter basically? Bridge between two people. Understood, serving the customer, talking. It will talk to client also. It will talk to server also. Got it, Amar? What is API properly? Okay, so already I discussed, right? So API is nothing but the HTTP request, which we discussed previously. Remember, like one time we discussed HTTP request. HTTP request will have method, get, put, push, delete, header. Header means like authorization, that bag of money I used to tell you, like, and what type of data you want in return, that content type, application, JSON format you want data, that I used to tell. Path or endpoint, like cake slash red velvet, that is the path. Like, okay, you want red velvet cake, means you have to pass like this, slash cake slash red velvet, right? So that is path. And parameter nothing but like extra information. Extra information, what I was telling previously, like quantity I want this, and weight I want 1 kg or half kg. That is extra parameter, right? So all those things we are sending from client to the server, so that server can understand that request, and it will send you the two things. One is data, that is body, inside body, and one is a status code. So we discussed about a status code also, 200 status code, 404 status code, 500 status code. So all in detail we have discussed, right? So this is response and this is request, and these two boxes only will be there with the API. So all the API will have request and response box, as I discussed here. See, discussed that day. All the API will have, this is basically now Zomato becomes the API, because it's a bridge between customer and this Amma's cake and candy shop. Okay, and this Zomato has two things. One is request box and one is response box. So anything client has to tell to this shop, no, client can directly can't tell to this shop. Client will place all his information or question or whatever query in this request box. So what happens? This server, this Zomato people, they will send this request box to this shop. Then what will happen? Shop will check in request box what request has came, and then after doing all the things, this cake house will doing creating all the things based on the request. It will dump again to the response box, and this response box server will send. So you are the API, you are the creator of server. So what you will do? Any API you are creating, you have to take request and response. Two things you have to take, and anything kept on the client will come to the server via request. Anything server has to send to the client, you have to send via response. This is clear, Amar? This is very important thing. It's clear about request and response. Okay, it should be very clear, Amar, because this is the two things which server will talk to the client. Okay, based on these two boxes. Understood? Okay, so that is basically APIs. Now see, there is two kinds of API. Okay, one is REST API and one is SOAP API. So what is REST and what is SOAP? Like see, SOAP API was previously built. Like before this REST, SOAP API was very old API. So see, any HTTP request, it has to accept multiple form of data, right? It has to accept JSON data, it has to accept PDF data, it has to accept plain text, HTML, so many format of data, because client can send any kind of data, any format of data to the server, right? So server should be eligible, or server should be have that capacity to get that data. Let's suppose client is sending a file and server does not have idea how to view that file or how to open that file, then that request will be cancelled, right? So SOAP, when SOAP came into existence, no, this is old one, this SOAP, old one, what was there? Old one, like how HTML tag you will see. like HTML header tag, paragraph tag. So SOAP was only accepting in header like tag type structure. Okay, tag type structure, SOAP API, when this came into exist previously. So it was only accepting tag. It won't accept JSON. Like if you will pass no curly bracket and then pass the data in JSON like properties value, then it won't accept. This was not accepting. And some of the features were there, it was not accepting. Okay. But later what happened? Later they brought REST API. REST API is nothing but REST API will use HTTP protocol and it can help the server to get multiple type of data, either JSON, either files. Like see, already I discussed you when I was talking regarding request or response based on that hell type and something it can accept, right? I'll show you that. Somewhere it is there. Okay, let me scroll down. Okay, this is file system. Response method 2. Okay, response structure. This is response structure. This is that. See. So REST API can take HTML also it can take, plain text also it can take, JSON also it can do, image also it can do, PDF also it can do. So all these is accepted by REST API. Got it? So that is REST API became very popular. Understood? REST API became very popular. Now, one more thing you have to understand here in REST API is what, like, see, this SOAP API, how it was, no, like, first the connection will start. Like, let's suppose this API has to trigger. Right? So first this connection will start, build with the server. So first connection will get built and then it will be keep on waiting in that build. Okay, it will keep on creating the on connection alive. It will be keep on creating. But with if you'll do like infinite time connection alive, no, then you will face difficulties because if no one request is coming and simply you are opening hotel, like it's like how like whole day whole night you are opening hotel, but daytime client will come, nighttime client won't come, no, but also you are simply open hotel. So that is waste of your time and energy only, right? So that is issue with the SOAP. But in rest, what will happen? Whenever customer comes, that time only you are serving. That time only you are connecting to the server. Means what is happening? Client does not have any information about the server and server does not have any information about the client. When client will send some request, then first API will check whether the server is alive. If the server is alive, then okay, take the request, go to the server. But if server is not alive, send like, okay, server is not alive. Server is dead. Okay, so this became advantage. So that no need to make any client to waited or to connected to the server all the time. Got it? So somewhat I don't know you will understand or not, but somehow I'm trying to make you understand. But don't worry, you will get to know slowly. So see here difference of REST API and SOAP API. So what I told you, REST API based on HTTP and SOAP API some specific rule was there. Okay, REST API can accept JSON, XML, HTML, plain text, and some common formatting, file formatting like PDF, docs. But XML, but SOAP API only takes XML. We'll call as XML, like how I told tag HTML tag I'm talking now, like tag type, P tag, header tag, body tag. So like the tag type structure it will accept only. Okay, stateless communication. So stateless communication is nothing but client does not have any idea about server. Server does not have any idea about client. Okay, means like it's a stateless. State is nothing but it's a current behavior of the things. Like what is your state now? So you are studying Node.js, right? So that is your state now. You have not completed Node.js, but what is your previous state? Java, JavaScript you have studied, but that is not. This REST API will not get to know like what and all things you have done previously. But right now, what is your status? That is basically stateless. That is the reason it doesn't keep the previous status of the people. See, today I'll meet you. I'll just ask you, okay, what you have done. Then I'll understand, okay, you are doing Node.js. But I don't have idea before Node.js what and all things you have done. You have done JavaScript, you have done HTML, you have done CSS. I don't have idea because I am only interested on Node.js. That's why I'm asking you only Node.js. So that time only the response will come. But SOAP API, what was happening? It was connection full, stateful. No. It can be stateless, but it is stateful. Means every history you will be knowing. Like let's suppose I wanted to get to know about you, what you are doing now, Node.js, but I'll get to know, okay, you did previously JavaScript also, you did previously HTML also, you did previously CSS also. So every information, previous information I will get. So it's like a continuous connection. So that you will getting to know every request is coming, you are getting to know, okay, this time this came, this time this happened, this time that happened. Okay, so see, stateless communication, what is there? Like it is very lightweight and faster, because lightweight in the sense means you no need to connect server and keep it ideal, right? Once the things is required, that time only connection will happen, that time only sends the request will happen. Okay, but this is due to see, it can take why low lightweight data format means these all JSON, XML, this plain text and all are lightweight. But XML, whatever here has to create here, it is very large payload it will become. Okay, it won't become a small payload, it will be very large payload. XML. Okay, so no need to get to know the tension like why I'm not understanding this. Just try to understand small things. Like any RESTful API is nothing but it's a HTTP based. This is a specific based. Second is REST API takes all type of file format, but SOAP API does not take all type of file format. It will just take XML type of file format. Third, REST API will not have any information about history of the server, but SOAP API will have history of the server information. Okay, so REST API is generally fast and lightweight data format because it has JSON and all, but SOAP API will have XML format. So this much only you got to know, no? That is more than enough. Okay, difference. Understood, Amar? So that's it. So now we are going to discuss tomorrow REST API. Entire our application, entire our that project, this classes, we are talking about REST API. We are not talking about SOAP API because it has got long back, it has got deprecated. Means it's no longer existing to the people to use it because it's not feasible that much. Okay, now the world talks about regarding only the JSON data. Right, so that is the reason we have left this SOAP. So we are going to do REST. So this REST is nothing but this is the API part, means a waiter. Like now this waiter is REST waiter. Okay. Previously the waiter was SOAP waiter. Only one type of data it will accept. But now the waiter can accept multiple type of request. Okay. Understood? Multiple type of data. Got it? This is REST API. Somehow you have to learn the things. This difference you have to learn. Okay, I have done so many theoretical, right? Till now I have done so many theoretical to you, so many things to you. But tomorrow we are going to do real server creation using Express, and we'll create at least 4 API. Like how I told you, 4 API means get API, post API, delete API, and update API. Okay, tomorrow we are going to create API, and then those API will be triggered by client. So client can trigger either get API, client can trigger either update API, client can trigger either delete API. So any API it will trigger, you should be ready with that API. Got it? So tomorrow we are creating the API in the server, and we are creating the server using Express.js. Okay, we are using Express.js. So using Express.js framework, we are going to create a server, we are going to create an API, and we are making them available for our customer. So that once anyone request will happen, then it can handle that request. It won't tell like, okay, we don't have any API for canceling the things or deleting the things. Okay, we don't have any API for updating the things. Once you order, that is done. We can't change the order. Type of things it should not be. It should be all the things facilities available. Okay. Thank you.